Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Clubhouse, making the tomato, cucumber, and herb salad. We're talking about digestive problems, digestive issues. How many of you guys have digestive problems, and how serious are they? Are they in your way? Do you have the acid reflux? Do you have the Crohn's colitis? Do you have the gastric bloating, the cramps, the constipation? Do you have the runs? Do you have the loose stools, which is kind of a funny one because I'd rather have the loose stools instead of cramping, bloating, can't get a really hard stool out. The hard stool will not come out. You know, that was a head scratcher for me for years because over the years, helping so many people for decades, people come into my office, I'd hear that. Somebody like, well, I'm only here for these loose stools. And I'm like, all right, well, how loose are these stools? And the person, I've heard this so many times, person will be like, they're kind of like not that hard. They're not formed enough. They're not good enough. And I'm like, but you're okay otherwise, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay otherwise, but I just got these kind of loose stools. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually okay. That's actually okay. Anyway, so people deal with bloating. They got SIBO. They get told they got candida. They got hives, right? The whole bit. They're told their histamines are up. They're told they got the fructose intolerance. They're told a lot of things, but they deal with a lot of gut problems around it, all around it and everything. Good to see you guys. We're live on Facebook, YouTube. Yep, we're live on TikTok right there. Clubhouse too at the same time. Gonna make a raw dish, which is really good. And guess what? Fat-free raw dish. Because everybody's fatting themselves to death. That's what they're doing. Like, fat. It's got to be tahini, oil, nuts, seeds, nut butters, peanut butter, milk, cheese, eggs, butter, cow butter, just whatever, anything, sheep's butter, whatever they can find. It's just fat. And that's all fine and all until you're sick. You got the gallstones, you got the kidney stones, you got the liver problems, you got the weight gain coming on later on down the road. And then you get rid of all those processed foods, and you're still on fat. Then you go vegan and plant-based and you're still tanking the fat. And then your digestive system just starts to break down more and more. Even if you made improvements, it still starts to break down and we end up in the same place. And now we're like, I'm eating so good. I'm eating so great. I'm eating so good. Why is this happening? I'm a vegan and I'm eating so good. I'm a keto animal protein person and I'm eating so clean. But why am I still getting sick again? Because those digestive problems get worse and worse because no one's addressing the real problems. I'm making tomato, cucumber, herb salad. And I got to tell you guys, guess what? The mono eating challenge is next week. Forewarning, the mono eating cleanse challenge is next week. I want to give you guys forewarning, okay? And if you want to partake, get to the library to grab a book. If you don't want to get one at Amazon.com US, okay? Amazon.com US, 51% off. This is a medical textbook, but it's got the mono cleanse in here. You're going to want to look at the mono cleanse to join in this free mono cleanse challenge. It's going to be great. Allison says, I didn't want to give up fat. I wanted to cling to my tahini. Laugh out loud. But when I did, it helped me so much. They train us. We're conditioned. We're brainwashed. Brainwashed to eat fats. That's what we are. We're brainwashed to just down the fat. It's like that all the time. The thing is, you guys, I'm just giving you the forewarning on this, all right? This mono eating cleanse challenge that I'm doing later on next week, it's going to be 3 days. 3 days, right? Later on next week. It's free. I'm not taking it to a private platform, having everybody buy tickets, $1,500 a piece tickets, doing all this stuff around it to make it seem like it's worth the $1,500, that whole game, get you guys all signed up for it. No, it's free. Get the book. Get it 51% off Amazon.com US, or if you don't want to spend a penny, go library shopping. Look and find it at the library somewhere in time for the challenge. Cassandra Ray, I did this challenge and it helped me so much. Definitely doing it again. Awesome. How you guys doing on TikTok? See, you guys you've got the comments going. I got vertigo right now. What can I do? Have you looked at Cleanse to Heal? Because if you go in here, there's vertigo and it gives you all the supplementation and dosages. It gives you supplementation and dosages. It's in here. I don't know what else I can do. What do? I don't know what else I can do. I want to be at your service, literally be at your service. Like, I killed myself to get this book done when I did. Get it to the publisher, get it published, get it printed, get it out there for 51% off, even though I don't control the pricing. And the answers to vertigo are in here. They're in here. If I had vertigo, I'd be on the zinc. You do what your doctor tells you to do, but if I had vertigo, I'd be on the zinc. Because it says in here, it's Epstein Barr. Okay, that's what vertigo is. It's inflaming the vagus nerve. I'd be on the zinc. That's the Vimergy zinc right there. That's just one thing, okay? So, but it has to be the right kind of zinc, the right kind. Catching up on all the podcasts on TikTok, incredible. Podcast episodes, yeah, those are amazing episodes. You guys, so we're making a tomato, cucumber, and herb salad. We're talking about how much fat everybody's on. And we can't let it go. It's an addiction. And I'm not saying tahini's not a healthy fat. I'm not saying avocado's not a healthy fat. They are. If you're going to do a fat, let it be those. Okay? Michelle L., good to see you. No one else has the answers. I got a phone call coming in too, by the way. It's the bottom line, you guys, is it's important to know that these options really do exist when you have a condition or a symptom and you're lost. It's like, I got vertigo. Well, what do I do if I got vertigo? Where do I go? And you're going to specialist after specialist. Hello? Yeah, I'm really sick. I've been to my third specialist. Yeah, I handed over my insurance card. Yeah, there's a co-payment though. I had to come up with $200. Yeah, they said it was $3,000 in tests. Yeah, it's my third neurologist. I'm so sick. My God, I've been to doctor after doctor after doctor. I've been to naturopaths. I've been to this crazy osteopath, and which seemed really cool. And then I went to this kinesiologist, and then I went to this acupuncturist, and I went to this. And then I went to this nutritionist, and the nutritionist didn't know anything. And then I went back to the doctor and my GP. Yeah, I'm just so burnt out. Wait a minute. There's a commercial coming on right now. I have the YouTube on right now. Hold on. I want to tell you about this, but I don't want to miss this commercial. Let me watch this. Hi, I'm Dr. Jarek Warwick. I'm a YouTube doctor with a lot of followers and subscribers. And I've been a professor at the Hosh University, and let me tell you about the new study that's out now. Green tea is good for your skin. It's a new study, and if you keep on following my channel, you'll learn about green tea and other products that I have. Yes. You know what? That's not going to help me. This guy's talking about green tea helping out my skin. I'm really sick. I got all kinds of problems. I'm sick. I'm fatigued. I can't walk good. I can't function good. I got digestive problems that just won't go away. And I don't get it. No one has the answers. I gotta go. You guys, make sure you have the book. Make sure you guys are there it's going to be at the end of next week. I'm not sure if it's starting Thursday. I'm not sure if I'm starting it Friday, but I'm starting it next week. 3-day mono eating cleanse challenge. You don't want to miss out. Right now, if you guys just came on here making tomato, cucumber, and herb salad, I'm pumped up. We got IG Live. Not IG Live. We got TikTok Live. We got Facebook, YouTube, Clubhouse. Got to keep them all in order here. So, you guys were talking about digestive system issues. And, yeah, Allison, that's pretty funny. Lorraine L., good to see you. Everybody's coming on here right now. Cleanse to Heal is a great book. Yeah, on TikTok, totally. It's helping so many people. So, Anka says, gastroparesis, ? Can you talk more about it? What happens when you eat too much at once? If you're somebody that's really sensitive, you got to keep in mind, if you haven't been eating a lot, okay? It's not something that you do. You don't eat a lot at once. You don't eat a lot of food at once. Keep in mind that when you start eating more, you're going to feel it because the intestinal tract shrinks. That's how it works. And a lot of us lose our elasticity in our intestinal tract, or small intestinal tract. It starts to harden up a little bit. If we've been eating the wrong foods for so many years, we got pathogens and toxic heavy metals inside our gut, because it happens a lot. And what goes on is then you start eating more. Say you start eating a big meal at once, and you got a really large meal. And what happens is that large meal starts to push through the small intestinal tract. And we can really feel it. We can really feel it. And then we don't think we digested our food, but we did digest our food. We digested it enough. But what happens is larger amounts of food sometimes stretches out the small intestinal tract as it's going down, and we could really feel that. It's one thing. Another thing is if it's not large amounts of food and you feel your intestinal tract, you feel discomfort, keep in mind that when the nerves in the lining of the intestinal tract are inflamed and food's moving through, it's rubbing the lining. And there are foods that don't rub the lining that make our condition worse, like eggs. Keep that in mind. Milk, cheese, butter, dairy, eggs. All of that doesn't rub, gluten, bread doesn't rub the lining. So you may eat that and not feel it, okay? But if you eat something like cucumbers and lettuce, like this beautiful lettuce, you might feel it rubbing your lining, because your lining's inflamed. It doesn't mean it didn't digest. It doesn't mean these foods aren't healing you, because these are healing foods, but you're going to feel it. A lot of people have metals, and they have a lot of toxic heavy metals. They got pathogens, and they're inside the gut. They're inside the intestinal tract. So keep that in mind there. Gastroparesis is in Cleanse to Heal. I talk about it in there. Okay. And sometimes with gastroparesis, it's all electrical. So it's all vagus nerve related, and it's coming from the brain. So a lot of cases of gastroparesis are coming from the brain. So keep that in mind, how that works. The brain is not sending the correct signals, or they're not reaching the gut. So that peristaltic action happens, and peristaltic action starts to move and do its thing. You're not getting the signals. They're not matching up, because a lot of people have toxic heavy metals in the brain, short-circuiting information that's running down the vagus nerve and heading to the gut, creating that peristaltic action. So now you're not getting that peristaltic action. So we're not getting that twisting and that massaging that our gut does. It moves the food down and through. We're not getting that, because the signals coming from the brain are not wired. Like the brain stem is not receiving signals from the neurons up in the larger part, the top of the brain, so the hemispheres. So those signals aren't happening. They're not going to the brain stem, and then boom, not going down the vagus nerve, and boom, not going down into the small intestinal tract. And that's a lot of stuff behind gastroparesis. That's why I'm always like, we got to get metals out. We got to do that. So that's one reason. The other thing for gastroparesis is pathogen infections. They're just not detectable. So viral loads inside the liver, viral loads inside the intestinal tract, causing lots of inflammation, and then that could get a gastroparesis diagnosis. So that's how it works there. That's just a couple of tidbits. Good to see you guys. Glad you guys are coming on. Michelle L says cortisone shots are horrible. Yeah, I mean, cortisone shots they're just so rough. They're so rough. I've been meaning to pick up your book. Went and got it. Went and got the juicer. Got some celery. Amazing. Yeah, the book is on sale at Amazon. But the point is I'm talking about the Mono Eating Cleanse Challenge. Jerome says, my digestive really started to heal once I got rid of my multivitamins. The multivitamins wreak havoc. That's one of those things. A lot of those junky multivitamins, even ones that come from companies that are really reputable and they're expensive, they're just junk. Multivitamins, etc., and bought the Bimergy instead, that are supposed to be good for my symptoms, which are neurological. Of course, lemon water and celery is the holy grail. That's really incredible. One of the tricks in the industry, I'm just going to give you this to you right now, you guys, is the multivitamin multivitamin or protein powder scams, or multivitamin powder scams. That's probably one of the big tricks, one of the big scams in the industry in alternative medicine. So just keep an eye on that. You're going to spend a lot of money on these multivitamins. They're highly irritating to the intestinal tract and gut. They're irritating to the system. They're garbage, even. They're high-priced garbage from the best companies out there. So what we think is the best companies out there. And they use a speck of this and a speck of that. You cannot heal with a speck of a whole bunch of things that some guy at some lab decided to put together and offer that to the board members of the company. And the board members are like, sure, that sounds good to me. What do you think, Frank? Does that sound good to you? They got the multivitamin, they priced it all out. We can make a lot of money, and it's just a speck of this and a speck of that. Well, what do you think? What do you think, Bob? How is that? Chairman Bob, the lab guy came and he showed us the new multivitamin they're going to put out. What do you think? Okay, let's get it together. Let's do it. Good, you got our go. You got our permission. So what happens is you have to understand how those multivitamins are. They're the worst. They're the junkiest, even from the best companies. They waste your time, all of that. You waste your energy. Keep that in mind. And they're not for a specific condition. They're not for a specific condition. You're sick with something, that's not there for you. Like, that's not there fixing that problem. If you got lupus, is that multivitamin going to fix it? Because I'm scratching my head on that one right there. If you got MS, is that multivitamin going to fix it? That junky multivitamin or protein powder going to fix it? Because I'm confused on that. I've never seen anybody with RA get fixed from a multivitamin. You got neurological Lyme, is that multivitamin going to fix it? I'm scratching my head on that one. So what is it? Like, how does that work? But we get led all these directions, and then we're just stuck. We're stuck. We're sick. Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Is that multivitamin going to fix your Hashimoto's thyroiditis? I'd love to know that. No, it doesn't. I've never seen it happen. I had decades of people pouring into my office from around the world because I was the bizarre symptoms guy, having answers for symptoms for the first time in our history in chronic illness, right? And people would walk in and be like, I actually have an answer now. And it's not candida. It's not in it, and he's not telling me to go on this big old bulky multivitamin, and you know, so keep that in mind how it works out there. And it's not my genes. He's not saying it's genes, and it's not my body attacking itself. He actually has an answer. He's actually saying what's happening. And so what happens is that multivitamin, I've seen that used so many times over the decades. They're still doing it now. Let's start making a salad. We're going to talk about digestive problems. What I like about the tomato, cucumber, and herb salad, right, is this one's a raw dish. It's fat-free. And you can have steamed asparagus and throw in this. You can do steamed Brussels sprouts and throw in this. You can throw some steamed potatoes in this. Throw that in this. You can throw steamed red bell pepper if you want. This is a cleanse to heal recipe, by the way. If you guys just came on Medical Medium Mono Cleanse Challenge next week, have the book. I'm not going to package this thing up, sell tickets, lock everybody out, and take it to a private platform like people do. And then you spend $1,500 for your ticket. You do the mono eating cleanse where we talk about it and, you know, and all that. We're not doing it. I'm making it free. But you got to have the book. You should. 51% off Amazon.com. So I'm chopping up some tomatoes now for the salad, okay? There's a couple of ways you can do it and make this look good. You go to the library and get the book for free too. How about that? Like, you just go to the library and get it for free. You can totally do that. I'm in my dishwasher right now, getting a bowl out. We're live. What can I tell you? So let's figure this out. First of all, I'm going to chop up some lettuce. Let's put that in here. Now, you don't have to chop up your lettuce if you want your lettuce all big pieces, but I'm going to chop it up. I'm not going to butcher the lettuce into tiny, tiny pieces, but I am going to chop it up pretty good. So, yeah. Bridget, what about IBS? Talked about the cause of IBS for years and years. And what's interesting about IBS is conventional medicine, alternative medicine just believes IBS is irritable bowel syndrome. That was one I made fun of for a long time. Not people having IBS. No way. I would never make fun of that in a million years. But I made fun of conventional medicine and alternative medicine for years because of that one. Being sarcastic about it. Think about it. So, all the technology we have, all the medical research and science, all the alternative research and science, all the medical universities, right? All the big pharma, right? All the big corporations, all the big insurance companies, all the entire kit and caboodle, right? The best they can come up with is you have IBS. That means you go to the doctor, I don't feel really good in my stomach down here, and I kind of go to the bathroom, it kind of hurts a little. No answer. Think about that. Did you ever think about that? All the great minds in the medical world, all the technology, and all they can come up with everything they got, is you have IBS. Really? I got IBS? I got a diagnosis. Finally got an answer. What is that? Irritable bowel. Okay, wait a minute. I know I have an irritable bowel. I know. Can I have an answer, please? You have irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, so it's a syndrome? I have an irritable bowel syndrome? That's not an answer. Okay? I talk about in the medical medium book series, Streptococcus causes IBS. And there's reasons why strep gets fed, and we eat the foods we shouldn't eat that feed strep, and then we have antibiotics throughout our life, and the strep gets worse, and we end up with IBS. Talk about that all the time. Yes, it's awful. It hurts and makes you feel nauseous. Yeah, IBS does. It does. So yeah. So I'm reading comments right now. So vagus nerve. So really the vagus nerve, it went up. The comment went up. I got to look for it again, see if I could get that comment back on TikTok. The vagus nerve is medical medium information causing these problems. So people that know gastroparesis is vagus nerve. That's not just out there. That's always been medical medium information. Nausea associated with vagus nerve is medical medium information for years. Anxiety with vagus nerve is medical medium information for decades. The sad thing is that all this stuff that comes from medical medium originally, it just got out there. It got out there from all the lecturing, the teaching, the publishing of the books, and it's like, and people can't find their way back. They just can't find their way back to know where it originates from. Science and research doesn't know the vagus nerve is related to any of that. So what? Someone in the alternative medicine world just woke up one morning and was like, huh. No, it comes from the source that I've always had this information come from. Vagus nerve causing symptoms, and it being vagus nerve is medical medium information. Doing some salad right now. But think about it though. Diane says, any tips for diarrhea from Crohn's disease? Well, look, I can tell you this. If you check out the Cleanse to Heal book, go to the library, get it for free if you want, or 51% off. I'm doing the Mono Cleanse Challenge next week. Mono eating is an incredible tip. An incredible tip. Learning how to mono eat for a little while. I've offered that for decades for people with Crohn's. Mono eating bananas. Look, do what your doctor says. Ask your doctor if it's okay to try anything medical medium if you would like. Take the book to, take the Cleanse to Heal to your doctor. Show them the mono eating section. Say, hey, can I do this for my Crohn's? So I'm making some salad. Here we go. Right there. So I'm going to chop up some tomatoes. Going to put that in there. Let's do that. Got some beautiful tomatoes right here, you guys. Don't be afraid of tomatoes when they're ripe and juicy like this. They're so good for you. Really, really good for you. I'm going to cut them this way. Karen Churchill said, I had a large raised mole, like growths, on my face. My daughter looked at me and said, Mom, those lumps are almost gone. Hardly noticeable now. Thanks to your way of eating. Incredible. Incredible. Good for you. I'm so proud of you too. So proud of you. If you lower the fats, they go away quicker. If you lower the fats, they go away quicker. The fats slow down our healing. I want you guys to know that. The fats slow down our healing. Keep that in mind. Okay? They slow down our healing. Interesting, right? So I love when you hear the whole, you need fats for your brain. Fats, healthy fats. Your brain needs them. You'll die without them. Really? Really? You'll die without sugar. That I do know. You'll die without glucose. Your brain dies without glucose. It doesn't die without fat. Your brain's not made out of so much fat as everybody says it's made out of. It's made out of glycogen storage, hardened glycogen deposits. That's the majority of what makes up and creates up all the glial cells. It's not fat. So misinformation about fat just gets everybody in trouble, but there's reasons for that. You're not supposed to get healthy. If you get healthy by chance and you learn how to kick out the bad, processed foods, and you at least keep yourself going that way, right? That's not what the industry wants. The pharmaceutical industry wants you sick. They want you dying. They do. They need you sick in order to keep them going. Chopping up some tomatoes right here. I think you guys know that, though. So I'm making a salad, just working on it, as you see, you guys. There's fats already in every food. There's fats in this beautiful lettuce right here. This butterleaf lettuce has fat in it. It's got omega-3s in it. Usable omega-3s. Usable, right? Real bioavailable. And keep this in mind. You think you're on a keto diet. You're not on a keto diet. You're just on a healthier animal protein diet. Or if you're plant-based on a keto plant-based diet, you're just on a healthier vegan diet. Basically, right? So keep in mind that no one goes into ketosis anymore. That was given up a long time ago because people die when they go into ketosis. So the whole ketogenic diet is just really a trendy name for something no one even enters into. Like you're actually I go keto now. Well, you're not going to go into ketosis. So number one flaw, you don't want to go into ketosis either, but it's a number one flaw of diets that are created of nobody knowing what's going on. Because what happens is if you eat one avocado on a keto diet, you can't go into ketosis. You can't. I don't care what practitioner you go to, what diet expert you talk to, what trainer you talk to, what blood test you had looking for ketones. You can't go into ketosis if you have one avocado in that diet, because the avocado is a lot of sugar. Cheese is a lot of sugar. You can't go into ketosis eating cheese because it's a lot of sugar. If you have a small little handful of berries, you can't go into ketosis. So if your ketogenic diet allows you to have berries, and you'll notice that the keto diet allows you to have all this like berries, green apples, cheese. The keto diet, the ketogenic diets have, it's avocado, it's nuts, it's seeds. Years ago, the keto diet, was a dangerous test. They removed everything with sugar out of your diet. They removed the avocado, which is sugar. It's sugar. Avocado's got a lot of sugar in it. It's a fruit. It's a fatty fruit. It's got a lot of sugar in it. They removed the avocado. They removed all nuts and seeds, peanut butter, which is sweet. Peanut butter is sweet. Nuts are sweet. A walnut, they have a sweetness to it because it's part sugar, right? They removed all the nuts, all the seeds, right? And they put people literally on no calories that are derived from on any level from any kind of carbohydrate or sugar. And then they watched people die because their brain went so void of glucose. So the ketogenic experiment was an epic disaster that killed people. But they kept the name, but they brought in sugar, is what they did. And even meat has sugar in it. So what they would do is they would boil the sugar out of meat, because meat has sugar, right? The animal's blood is sugar. That's how it works. The blood inside an animal is sugar. Your blood has glucose in it. It's sugar, right? So what they did was the ketogenic experiment many years ago, decades ago, what they did was they removed the sugar out of the meat. They boiled the sugar out of the meat, right? They didn't fry the meat and give people fried meat. They didn't give people broiled beef. They boiled the sugar out of the beef, and they only gave that to the people in the experiment, the ketogenic experiment. And what they found was, when they took out every single molecule of sugar, the person got sick, lethargic, lost their thinking process, couldn't function, and either died or went into a coma or just could barely function. So they realized the ketosis experiment was a dangerous one, a really, really bad idea. So now the ketogenic diet we have today, there's carbs in it everywhere. There's carbs in it everywhere. They also noticed with the old ketogenic diet, when they started bringing that in to the mainstream, there was already a little bit of carb in here, wheat germ. Wheat germ was allowed in the old ketogenic diet. You were allowed to do wheat germ. So you had a little bit of carbohydrate in places, right? You had a little bit. But people were getting heart attacks and strokes. They had no antioxidants. They had no leafy greens, of course. They didn't even have iceberg lettuce anyway. They didn't have oranges. They didn't have things that keep you healthy and strong, is what they didn't have. So then people would get heart attacks, people would get stroked, people would get heart disease real fast, they get those cholesterol problems off the chart, they get everything all wrong. And so then the ketogenic diet had to make a transformation, you guys. And they had to start putting sugar in it. So one of the first starts of the sugar was green juices. So green juices entered the ketogenic diet. Green juices. And green juices, that had a little bit of glucose in it. Because some of the vegetables were like green juices with beet in there, that's glucose. Green juices with carrot in there, green juices. And then they started putting in a few berries. And then they started putting in the ketogenic diet avocado. More sugar, you see? There's putting more sugar in your ketogenic diet. Guess what? Ketosis stops. Then they put a little cheese in there. Oh, high quality cheese in your ketogenic diet. That's good for you, right? And they put that in there. And then they put butter in there, which is sugar. It's not just fat. Butter's sugar. Sweet. That's why butter's sweet. It is, right? Not candy sweet, but it's sweet. There's a sweetness to it. Okay? And then in these foods had nutrients in there. They had nuts. Then they put nuts and seeds in the ketogenic diet, which were sugars. See? And the green juice and the berries and the avocado and the nuts and seeds had nutrients in it, which started helping people get a little bit better. And it's like they're redesigning a screw up, and they're like redesigning it. It's unbelievable what happens. They're trying to redesign the screw up is what's going on. And in the end, all they did was make a healthier animal protein diet. That's all. A healthier animal protein diet that happens to have a few more antioxidants and some nutrients here and there, and you get a little bit of berries if you want. You got a little bit of that. You get a little bit of, you got your avocado, which is your healthy fat, because avocado is good for you. Sure, it's good for you. But if you're trying to heal from chronic illness, it's not your best friend, but it's still good for you. And then people were craving more sugar, and they were craving more sugar, so they had to offer something in there. So then they started throwing in all the chocolate, butterfat with a little bit of that raw sugar in there, or honey and raw sugar. But people were craving more sugar in the ketogenic diet, so they had to put more things in there. So they had to put more green apples and more berries, and they had to put something in here. And now there's keto stuff that's like keto donuts and cookies and cakes now. That's keto friendly. That's keto friendly. It's got this many grams of carbohydrates. That's keto friendly. And that's how it works. You see, it's all a game of not knowing what the heck's going on. It's a game of scam. It's a game of all this. But everybody just walks into it like you walk into it uneducated, and everybody walks into it uneducated. They're like, they just walk right into it. Like, oh, what? Really? That's keto friendly? Good, let me have that. Oh, am I in ketosis? Nobody knows. But what happens is you end up binging, and that happened all the time because there was no sugar in their diet. Because no one was eating avocados in the original ketogenic diet, and they weren't eating nuts and seeds and berries, and they weren't eating anything that they were binging. They'd be like, they'd be keto for a week and binge because they needed some kind of glucose for their brain. You see how it works? They needed glucose for their brain. Now the keto diet's doing celery juice. So that's in the keto diet now. So celery juice is in the keto diet now. Celery's got glucose in it still. You can't go into ketosis if you're doing celery juice. You can't go into ketosis. But they're doing celery juice. It's helping the real problem. So then someone's tagging ketogenic diets really helping people. Look, this one person's getting better. This one person just lost 50 pounds on a ketogenic diet for the last 6 months. This other person, and what's happening is in the ketogenic diet, they're putting in things that help you. They're like old medical medium tools. They're putting in celery juice, and they're putting in some juices, and they're putting in a little of this, and they're putting in a little spirulina. Then they're putting in, they're actually putting in things. Then they're putting in some spinach in your keto diet now for the first time. Then you're putting in cilantro in your keto diet now for the first time. And then they're saying the keto diet is getting you better, not the things that get you better, like asparagus and cilantro and spinach and berries and whatever. And they're not saying in the celery juice, they're not saying those are what's getting you better. They're wrapping it up in this keto bow. It's keto that's getting you better. So this is really interesting stuff on how things work, you know? Yeah, let's make the salad. We're still doing that. Very, very interesting when you think about it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up the cucumber a little bit, okay? So I like chopping up thin slices, so I'm going to do that right here, you guys. And I'm chopping it up on an angle a little bit so they don't roll off the cutting board. So if you do a little, one rolled off. How do you like that? So we're going to do a little bit of, I like them kind of thin like this. Don't like them real thick, right? Okay. My trigeminal neuralgia is just about gone. Now healing my digestion. Thank you, Rena. I'm so happy for you. Seriously, I really am. If you guys just get on here, Medical Medium Mono Cleanse Challenge next week. I'm pumped up, actually. Pumped up. Janine, what about HCG drops? It's terrifying. HCG? HCG. Terrifying. Popping some cucumber on here. Not a fan at all. Probably one of the most ridiculous things. Because what they did is they just starved you to death. They put you on 500 calories a day. Got people exercising on 500 calories a day. You'd end up binging yourself to death. I've seen so many people just binge themselves like crazy. It stresses out their adrenals, stresses out their liver. You're sicker than ever before from HCG. People get sicker than ever before. They go into it, well, whoa, something's changing, something's happening. Man. And then they get screwed over in the end. Because that's how it works. The world of guessing games and the industries and everybody involved is just really, they're just playing people in so many ways. Not everybody, but boy, my God. They just play people in such an incredible way. Okay, we got that going. Let's get some red onion here. So, a little bit of red onion in the salad. Do a little bit of a thin slice right here, okay? Nice and thin. Don't want real thick pieces, you know, since I'm going to be eating, this is the way I like to do it. But you could do it the way you like to do it, right? I'm going to cut these down the center a couple times. Pop that on here. Making a little salad. Let's put some herbs because this is an herb salad. Let's do that next. Let's get some herbs on this. Yeah. We got some dill. Look at that. Beautiful dill right here, you guys. Reading comments as we're going along too. Got some dill right here. I don't know if you guys like dill. I really do. Pop a little bit on here. That. There we go. Got some parsley. Let's get a little bit of that on there too. You love dill, Marissa? So I'm going to do some parsley, and I'm finely chopping the parsley. So I'm just doing a little fine chop here, okay, if you guys don't mind. Weight issues is derived from a stagnant, sluggish liver. Just letting you know. It's medical medium information. A friend of mine just told me that they were listening to some kind of opera somewhere. And then a commercial came on between the opera, and it was this doctor saying how weight gain is caused by an overburdened, stagnant liver to sell a product, right? First of all, Medical Medium published this first. It's Spirit of Compassion's information that our weight gain is derived from an overburdened, sluggish liver, and there's no scientific study that discovered it prior. And there's a doctor sitting there reading Liver Rescue book, not telling anybody, and then saying in a commercial to sell her product that it's coming from, weight loss is coming from an overburdened liver. He's like, come on. I think it's the Twilight Zone, personally. But I like the Twilight Zone. It's all right. Makes life interesting, you know? All right, so we got this herb salad. We're moving on. And I'm not telling people that I'm the source so I can just be like, oh, I'm the source. It's just that how are you going to find out how to heal? Because what this person did is this person also offered a bunch of things that makes your problem worse. So it's like, okay, your liver is causing your weight gain because it's stagnant and sluggish. I'm Dr. Whatever. And then she went on like something like that this is the cause of it. And then here's the powder I want you to be on. Here's the protein powder to help your liver, whatever it is. And, you know, and it's like, no, you're not going to help anything with that. You got to learn how to do it. Let's get some dulse in here. So what I like to do with the dulse is I'm going to wet it. Just going to grab a couple of tiny pieces of dulse. This is Atlantic dulse right here. Garlic is optional, so I'm chopping up a little dulse. Careful chopping up dulse, right? It slides on your board a little bit under the knife. Keep that in mind if you're going to chop it up, use it culinary-wise. Put a little dulse on top of the salad. If you're sensitive to onion and garlic, you don't have to use onion and garlic. You can keep the red onion out, okay? If you're not sensitive and you like a little bit of garlic, we can use a little bit of garlic. I got a garlic bulb right here. Let's grab one clove. Garlic and onion kills viruses and bacteria. I'm just mincing this garlic really finely on the board. You guys see? You guys are looking. Right? A little bit of garlic on top of the salad like this. Yeah, let's make a little bit of an orange dressing. You can squeeze orange directly on top. How about that? That's actually really funny. That's why I like being live. You don't know what's going to happen. An orange could go flying towards your face and smack you in the nose. I'm going to squeeze orange right on here. That's what I'm going to do. Put a little lemon on this one too. Right. You can pop in some steamed potato in this. You can pop in some steamed asparagus, Brussels sprouts. You can do a lot of great stuff on here. What happens is if you got bacteria inside your gut, right, and viruses inside your gut, it's not going to want to get killed off. It's not going to want to go. Bacteria and viruses don't want to just leave. They don't want to be like, okay, throw my hands in the air and I'm going to go. They've been living in you for a long time. They've been grown by the classified medical industry, grown in labs out of eggs, and they've been put out into the world purposely so that you have all these different pathogens inside of you, right? That's what the weaponized biological warfare, all started before 1920. So they started learning how the classified medical industry started learning how to propagate all these bugs, and then they were like, whoa, we could actually create illness in people to feed the medical industry for years to come, and the publicly known medical research and science will never be aware of it unless they discover it as time goes on. And it was a really great, incredible scheme of all time when you think about it. You got the classified medical industry raising all these bugs behind everybody's backs. And then you got your publicly known medical industry, like the medical schools and all that, pumping out doctors, right? And doing all that stuff in research. And they're two worlds. And in the private industry, the classified industry released all the bugs in 1920, 1930, 1940, 1950, all the herpes simplex 1s and herpes simplex 2s, right? All released, So everybody thought that Woodstock is why herpes simplex 1 went around and herpes simplex 2 went around. It was because of Woodstock in 1969. And it wasn't because of Woodstock and everybody having free sex in 1969, because that's what they blamed it on. That's not why Simplex 1 and Simplex 2 went around. Simplex 1 and Simplex 2 were released right around 1920, early before 1920. It was released, and they were releasing it publicly with nobody knowing it. And they were putting it out there so people would get Simplex 1 and Simplex 2, and then people would pass it around. By the time Woodstock came around and, that age of free love came around in the 1960s, everybody was passing around their Simplex 1s and Simplex 2s, but it wasn't because of that. It was because it was put out there to get passed around. You see how it works? And so the classified industry put out all these bugs all through the 1920s and 1930s and 1940s, and the Epstein Barrs and the cytomegaloviruses and the HHV6 were all put out there. And then the publicly known medical research and science never knew why anybody was sick. They still don't know now, but they stumbled across the bugs along the way and was like, whoa, that's a virus we see under the microscope. Meanwhile, they're just discovering what was already known by the classified industry. Put a little bit of lemon on here. Right? That's the salad right there. You can have this with so many things. I mean, look how beautiful that is, you guys. On Facebook, YouTube. What do you guys think on TikTok? You see that? Right? Not bad? You guys see that? Mono Eating Cleanse Challenge next week. Do not miss it. Have a book ready so you can learn from it. You can pick one of the mono eating cleanses. You can pick one of the mono eating diets in this book. You can pick the banana one. You can pick the papaya one. You can pick the steamed potato one. You can pick the peas one, steamed peas. You can pick one. And it's 3 days of getting your health back together. I'm going to be doing it. I'm excited about it, right? 51% off, Amazon.com US. Get a book for it, okay? I did this whole thing where it's like, you know what? I want everything for free is what I want. I don't want to close this thing off, sell tickets. Anybody who wants to join has to pay $1,500 to $2,000, and then we do this and make a big deal about it. I don't want to make a big deal about it. I just want to be having some fun, talk about the power of the mono eating cleanse, right? And everybody hop on board. Let's do it. Let's get healthy. How fun is that? Okay, guys, heading off to IG next in a few minutes. And gonna make another salad. Gonna talk about some cool stuff. Gonna have some fun. Adele says we are so lucky to have you guys here. Add some egg to the salad. Just kidding. Just kidding. That was really funny on TikTok. You had me going there. You had me going. And then I saw at the end of the comment, just kidding. Yeah. Looks good? Right, you guys on TikTok? Fantastic. Thank you, Lorraine. Right? Robinson, right? Lemon Balm Love. Am I going to see you guys on IG? Right? And I'm going to turn Clubhouse and TikTok back on too. Elizabeth, good to see you. Selena, good to see you. So you guys, Deborah, good to see you. I'm going to go on IG in a couple of minutes. I hope you guys come with me. I'm excited. All right. Love you guys. Take care.